Good. All right, we're recording. So, welcome tonight. I'm going to let Jacqueline start it off, and then I'll kick off at the end of the call with some announcements. So, go for it, Jacqueline.
Awesome. Okay. Well, normally I feel like I just kind of talk and share like whatever's like on my heart, just kind of figure it out as I go and just kind of share things I've been like thinking through and working through myself. But this week I actually have like 4 pages of notes. And it's probably the first time that I feel like I have some really hard truths to share with you guys, mostly because it was all coming at me, at myself. And as I was writing things down, it was like, this is really where our team is at right now. And I love this group so much. I love the core of us that are showing up consistently. But I know that a lot of us are feeling discouraged because we don't collectively as a team have the momentum that each one of us want to find. I don't think any of us are like, yes, I have momentum, I'm building success, I'm growing, I am like basically gaining that snowball effect. I think all of us feel like we are like pushing up this huge boulder and then the boulder falls down on us. And then we're picking it back up and pushing it again, and then it falls back down on us. And I feel like we've been stuck in that rhythm for like the last 2 or 3 months. But I just wanted to encourage you guys because they say like this old phrase is like, when the tide rises, all the ships rise. So when one thing happens for each of us, when a big goal happens for each of us, we are all collectively impacted by that. So basically tonight, I wanted to talk about affirmations. And when Ashley and I had planned this a couple weeks ago, I was talking about affirmations like completely. And then over the last 2 days, it turned into half affirmations, half setting intentions and goal setting. And then yesterday at church, like the message kind of like pulled it all together. And as I was journaling, I just had so much conviction in my heart towards how I view this business and how I've looked at building this business, why I've been building it, and just kind of starting over from scratch. So I'll start off with what we talked about in church. They were reading the story about the fish and the bread and how Jesus fed the 5,000. And in that scripture, the disciples told Jesus, they said, we have nothing. Like Jesus said, bring me what you have. And they said, we have nothing except 5 loaves and 2 fish. They literally qualified what they had already as nothing. And I feel like that is a word for our team right now. I feel like each one of you guys are so qualified. You already have something. And instead, you're looking at it, and when Ashley and I are saying, hey, I want you to show up, I want you to lead, I want you to go out there and push and find people to do this with you, and you're going, yeah, but I don't have anything except this little bit that's really basically nothing. Like you've already qualified what you have in your story and your journey as nothing. So I want to encourage you that, and basically this is the phrase that the pastor used Sunday, which I thought was funny, but he was like, the Lord takes our accept and turns it into something exceptional. And that really is what the bigger picture is here, you guys, that what you think is nothing, what you think is the accept, like, accept this, whether you're in the middle of your journey, whether you're already over like the initial like hump of your own fitness journey and you're now trying to figure out how to sustain and how to grow the business and how to move forward, we are all pushing at the same spot. Like we are all sitting here at 1-star, diamond, and emerald. Like we're all at the same playing field, you guys. And if we come together and begin to push each other and grow, then all of a sudden we're going to be here on this call as a bunch of 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars. all figuring out how to then mastermind with our 1 stars and our diamonds and their emeralds. Like, this same group is the same group that I believe is going to be at that level. But we have to stop saying that we have nothing to our own self. We have to stop thinking this negative self-talk that that's the reality. So the next time you go to share something, I want you to think about it. Are you not sharing because you're fearful? Are you not sharing because you've discredited something that you've accomplished already? Are you not sharing because you don't feel like you have enough to share? Are you not sharing because you don't feel like you know how to share? You guys, there's no right or wrong way to share. Well, actually, no, I take that back. There's no wrong way to share except for not sharing. When you're not sharing the journey, people don't know what you're doing and they don't know what story you're telling. And it feels extremely awkward to share the journey. Kristen and I, props to her because she just rocked the ultimate reset all on her own. You guys, my only form of accountability was literally that I'm like actively coaching and sharing it every day on Instagram and knowing that like if I mess up, I gotta go post it. And Kristen is over here like, oh, she's my idol because every challenge she's ever done, she does it like completely on her own. And I'm like, how do you do this? So she kept me going and I'm so thankful for her. But the 21-day reset was a hard journey to do and follow and focus on while sharing. So I basically shared like the minimum of what I could share in that moment. Like I shared enough that people knew exactly what I was doing, but I didn't take a lot of time to like write out these long posts, and I didn't even do a lot of video sharing because I wasn't ready to. But now I have the time and the effort, but I didn't just not share at all. Like people didn't think I just ghosted and was like, oh, I was doing this one thing and now I'm not doing this. You have to show up. People need you, and that's why you have to show up. People need to see that, one, you're consistent. They need to see that you're reliable. They need to see that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, because if they are going to trust you with their own insecurity of trying to overcome a weight obstacle, they need to know that you're not going to give up on them because they have given up on them so many times before. So they need to know like, oh yeah, they're really consistent. And it doesn't take long, you guys, to build that consistency. It literally takes 21 days. So if you're watching this replay and you're a new coach and you just joined and you just started and you're thinking, well, I haven't been doing this that long, so this doesn't apply to me. It's totally not true, because I could have just started 21 days ago and now I have a story to tell. You only need 3 weeks to have a journey to share something. If you've been in a slump in your business, go recommit to 21-day fix. Go recommit to 21-day fix extreme. Go do the ultimate reset. Like, don't be scared of it, you guys. It was amazing. It was the best challenge I've ever done. And there's just something fresh about it, about doing something start to finish, committing to it, sharing the journey, and now having so much more to share from it. But people need you to show up so that they can believe in themselves again. Basically, you need to find something that's simple and you start making slow progress towards it without letting the voice of condemnation speak louder than the voice of commitment. Basically, we all start something and then when we stop and we start and we stop, like we begin to let this voice of condemnation come over us. Our challengers begin to let a voice of condemnation come over them. But we need to allow the voice of commitment to be louder and to speak louder. Speak life over your people that you already have. Are you playing for Success Club? Have you helped anybody else in the past? Like, we all have a network to be pursuing and taking care of and serving in the process. Speak life over them. Go message them tomorrow, something quick and short. It doesn't have to be these long check-ins, but it can be like, hey, I believe in you. I hope you have a great week. You know, let me know if I can help you. But, you know, no matter what you're doing, I'm sure you're doing great. Like, today's a fresh day. Like, who needs a fresh start? Say something encouraging to them. because chances are they have negative self-talk and they don't have a lot of positivity in their day-to-day life. If they have a full-time job and they don't like their job, chances are they're like in this funk of comparing themselves to other people on social media because they're just scrolling for hours every day, and they need a voice of fresh air, inspiration, and somebody telling them that, like, hey, do you want this? We can do it, and let me show you how to do it. One of my favorite quotes from Summit this past year was when Rachel Hollis was talking about leveling up in your business. And I feel like this is very applicable on the same parallel to this group here. I feel like the general perception is that each one of you guys look at Ashley or I and go, well, they have it a little easier than I do. No matter what they do, it's just easier for them. Like, I'm still struggling over here, and they just have it easy. Yeah, it's easy for them to hit Success Club. Oh, it's easy for them to sign another discount coach. Oh, it's easy for them to run a challenge group. But Rachel Hollis just spoke the biggest truth at Summit when she was on stage, and she said, everyone up in the stands, look at the people sitting at the tables on the floor. She goes, raise your hand if you think that this business is easier for them, the people sitting on the floor, all the people who are elite. And honestly, like, it was a gut check because, yeah, I think it's easier for the people sitting on the floor to run this business when they are already having a successful business to run. And she said, let me correct you. It is 100 times harder for them to show up and level up in this business than it is for you sitting in the stands. And that truth hit me so hard because I realized what I think is really hard in this business right now pales in comparison to the work that elite coaches put in to make this a six-figure job. Yes, a lot of them show lots of fancy things on their social media, and it looks like it's a lot of glitz and glam. And yeah, it might be. That might be part of it. But they also each one of them has put in the work. They don't get anywhere in this business without putting in the work, without investing in people, and without learning the business and putting in the time to work the business. You have to be wise and focused with what you're doing if you want this business to be a business. If you're here on this call and this is a hobby for you and this is a fun thing on the side, perfect. I love it. If that's where you are, that's where I want you to be. That's where you're happy. I love that, and I cheer you on in that. But I know the majority of the people on this call, they want this to be their full-time job. They want to quit the job they're doing. They want to coach and work full-time as a Beachbody coach, building a team. They want to host leadership retreats. They want to travel and go to leadership in Arizona. They want to go to Summit and feel like they've built a team and impacted lives, and we all want to make a difference. So that's who the majority of this call is being spoken to. The one who's sitting here saying, I don't really think I'm enough, but I really have these big goals, and I really want to make this something. I really want financial freedom for my family. I really want to be able to be at home with my kids. I really want to be able to leave my full-time job. I really want to love what I do. I really want to feel confident in my skin. I really want fill in the blank. All of those things are connected. So when the lies that you've heard and believed this week become bigger and louder than the voice of truth, we need to stop and reevaluate. What are we even saying to ourselves on repeat? What are the things that we're talking about in our head as we're sending invites? Where's your mindset before you go to send those invites? Where's your mindset at each morning? So basically, I want to get to the point where we talk about, I feel like as a team, again, collectively, like, this has just been on my heart so much the last couple of days because I'm looking at us going, we all have so much potential and we all have goals that we've said we have. But then here we are, we keep showing up, talking about the same things, repeating, wash, rinse, repeat. And then if we do that enough, you guys, we're all going to be discouraged that like, and we're going to start believing the lie that, maybe this isn't for me. And that is a complete lie. This is for you. It's actually your responsibility to take a hold of this opportunity because it's not an opportunity for you. I want to say that again. This is not an opportunity for you. Yes, along the journey, there will be many moments when there's recognition from Beachbody, and that's a lot of fun. It's exciting to be sent on all expense paid vacations. That's really cool. Like, you can get easily swept up in all the things you think this business is, and it will be so enticing to believe that this business is about you. It'll be really tempting to believe that this business is about your rank advancement and what do I need to do to push for this rank so I can get that recognition across stage. If that is your number one goal, you need to reevaluate why you are here. This business is not about you. This business is about somebody who is on the other side of your computer screen, who is scrolling social media, somebody who is lonely, who is uncomfortable in their skin, who is depressed, somebody who needs freedom, somebody who needs something that this business has to offer. And if you're sitting there scared to send invites, stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about all the things you think you're not. Stop thinking about, I don't have anything except 5 loaves and 2 fish. What if the little boy never said anything when the disciples went out to find who had any type of food? What if the disciple didn't even say, except 5 loaves and 2 fish? What if he had just kept it at, Jesus said, hey guys, so what do we got? And they just said, nothing, because they disqualified it. Because they were thinking, clearly that's not enough. Just look at what you have right now, because your story is a story that somebody out there needs to hear. Your story, not mine. Yours. Each one of you have a network of people, whether it's in person or it's on social media. Figure out your own way to network market, because the bottom line is we're not necessarily in a social media business. We are in a network marketing business. So work your market. Go network with people. Today I went to my UPS box because I had to go pick up rent checks, and the girl that works the UPS store, she literally does like nothing all day. Like anytime I've walked in there, she's just sitting in the back, because really in that kind of business, there's probably not much for her to do unless there's customers walking in. And for the last 2 months, I've thought, gosh, she has the perfect full-time job to start coaching. She could be working her business all day long. She could probably work out in the back and no one would notice. Like, she has the perfect spot. And then I kept thinking, man, I wish I could invite her. Man, I wish I could invite her. But she'd probably think I'm super weird if I invited her. And you know what? Today she got me my mail and I just said, can I ask you a weird question? And she laughed and was like, oh, okay. I was like, have you ever thought about like being a health or fitness coach online? And she was like, no, not really, which is the answer I expected, because who just thinks about that? And she goes, no, not really. And I was like, yeah, I know it's weird. I said, but I do this part-time kind of as a hobby, and I have a team that we work together, and we run these online boot camps, and we help people get started, and we help people get really fit and in the best shape of their life. It's really fun as a team. We also earn vacations. There's a lot of perks to it. I said, I just really think about your job and that like this is the perfect like side job for you if you're interested. And she was like, oh, well, I'll think about it. And again, how is she going to think about it? Because I've given her no information besides what I just said. I said, well, what if maybe you joined a challenge with us? And like, let's just start there. Let's do a 21-day challenge. And then let's see kind of where it goes. And then we'll talk in a little bit. And she was like, okay, well, I'm interested if you send me some details about that. I'm like, okay, cool. In the back of my mind, I'm going, yes. Like, somebody's interested. It's a lead. I'm sitting at Success Club Zero. But again, it's nobody that I don't even know her name, you guys. I was too embarrassed to even ask her name because I've seen her so many times for the last like 6 months. And I was like, oh, I don't know her name. I'll figure it out eventually because she gave me her email, so I should go look at that. But the bottom line is that I went completely out of my comfort zone because this opportunity is too good for me to not give her the chance. She's like, well, I actually have been really wanting to lose 5 or 10 pounds and start getting a little more active. That, you guys, that's 99% of people that you talk to. 99% of people around you have probably not exercised one time in the last month, let alone the last 4 months. They've probably had one healthy meal in the last week, and they have no idea how to change except for these big extreme habits. So why are we limiting ourselves and believing lies that this isn't just, maybe coaching just isn't working out for me? Let's stop thinking about ourselves and our own insecurities and that we don't have enough. And let's start allowing Beachbody to be the solution and tool that we have to offer people. So how do we do that? We begin by setting our intentions, and we begin by reading off affirmations daily. We have to start creating, instead of like getting really excited about goals and sharing all of our dreams and getting really excited at Summit about all these things we're going to do before December. And then here we are, mid-October, nowhere closer to those goals because we've started and stopped and started and stopped, and then we get discouraged all over again. Let's all commit as a team right here that for the next week, it's a 1-week challenge I'm giving you guys, that for 1 week, you're going to do a daily routine, a daily habit. If we start creating these daily habits, then those habits begin to lay a foundation for us to actually achieve our goals instead of just talk about our goals. And again, I'm talking completely to myself, you guys, because I actually will attest, I'm the most undisciplined person when it comes to actually putting action towards my goals. I'm really excited about goals all the time. And so this is something that's just really coming out of what I need. And then I look at our whole team and go, we need this together. So there's something I wrote before. Wanted to make sure I didn't. Okay. So each one of us, and I want you guys to like write this down. I'll say it again after I say it one time. You can write it down. Each one of us has the ability to focus and be intentional, even in the midst of chaos, of school drop-offs or teething babies or full-time jobs. I'm going to say it again. Each one of us has the ability to focus. I'll put it in the comments after, Casey. KP. Each one of us has the ability to focus and be intentional, even in the midst of the chaos of school drop-offs or teething babies or full-time jobs, because that's where all of us live right now. That's the reality that we are all in. We are all juggling motherhood or a full-time job or both or something else on top of that. And the truth is that we may have very legitimate reasons to have excuses if we want to have an excuse. But if we're ready to really step over the line and start pursuing something, we have to be intentional and focus. So I want to talk about focus for a second. Basically, we need the daily habit that's going to help us see something through to completion. But when we have too many things to focus on, we feel overwhelmed. When there's too many areas and we've set too many goals all at one time, we don't know where to go, and the majority of us get paralyzed. Rachel Hollis wrote in her book, Girl Stop Apologizing, she said, I found success when I learned to focus. But focus means choosing one goal, one thing. So I want to ask you what your one goal is, because you might think it's something else and it maybe shouldn't be that yet. Where do you need to put your focus right now? Do you need to learn something first that's foundational? Maybe you're trying to hit Success Club, but you're still struggling with your own health and fitness and sticking to a program. Maybe you're trying to build a team, but you haven't yet figured out the rhythm of hitting Success Club. So do you need to focus on your own journey right now? Do you need to focus on hitting Success Club consistently? Do you need to focus for pushing for a rank? Do you need to focus on building a team? Do you need to focus on mentoring others? Do you need to focus on earning more income? Those are just the ones, the like options I had in my head as I was journaling. But what is the one thing that you need individually to focus on? This is the part where it's going to be different for us across the team, because not everybody needs to be focusing on building if you haven't mastered Success Club. Not everyone needs to be focusing on Success Club if you still don't have your own rhythm of your Shakeology daily or your meal planning at that week. Like, you have to go through the process before you can lead someone through the process. And that's the same for every step of this business. That's why we encourage you doing a 21-day challenge. And whenever I have a challenger, all I want them to do is focus, even if they're a new coach, I just want you to focus on your journey first. Your journey for the first 21 days. Now you've got results. Now you know how you got those results, and you can go teach someone how to get those results. Now you can go find 3 people and hit Success Club and get them those results. Once you've learned how to do that for 3 to 6 months in a row, okay, now you will eventually begin balancing. Doesn't mean that you have to, basically when you're pursuing one goal, that goal then becomes a habit when it's achieved. And when you made something a habit, then you don't have to think about it anymore, and you have the brain space and the capacity to pursue another goal. In the Start Today journal, Rachel Hollis writes, for clarity's sake, I'd like to mention that it's very possible to grow in multiple areas of your life once you've achieved success in one area and established it as a habit. For instance, I am able to maintain my health and fitness regimen while pursuing a new goal because health and fitness are already habits in my life now. But if I had tried to conquer them simultaneously or attempted to take them on while starting my company, I wouldn't have been very successful. So I want you to think about where you need to go first. But in order for us to move forward, we need to kind of start from square one with where we all are individually and where we take responsibility as a team and where we take responsibility truly for our actions. Before we focus on our intentions towards our one goal each day, I want us together every day this week on your own. I'm going to write this affirmation out on the team page, but I want you to read it out loud every morning. This total should take you 5 minutes, like 1 minute to read over the affirmation, and then 3 to 4 minutes to write out your intentions towards that one goal that you're pursuing this week. Could be anything that you need, the one thing you need to focus on. And I don't want you to focus on anything else but that. So right now, I want you guys to close your eyes, and I'm going to read to you the affirmation that we're going to focus on this week. This is the affirmation is called Your First Decision for Success. The buck stops here. Okay, close your eyes. From this moment forward, I will accept responsibility for my past. I understand that the beginning of wisdom is to accept the responsibility for my own problems, and that by accepting responsibility for my past, I free myself to move into a bigger, brighter future of my own choosing. Never again will I blame my parents, my spouse, my boss, other employees, or anyone else for my present situation. Neither my education nor lack of one, my genetics, or the circumstantial ebb and flow of everyday life will affect my future in a negative way. If I allow myself to blame those uncontrollable forces for my lack of success, I will be forever caught in a web of the past. Instead, I look forward. I will not let my history control my destiny. The buck stops here. I accept responsibility for my past. I am responsible for my success. I am where I am today mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially because of the decisions I have made. My decisions have always been governed by my thinking. Therefore, I am where I am today, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because of how I think. Today, I begin the process of changing where I am, and by changing the way I think. My thoughts will be constructive, never destructive. My mind will live in the solutions of the future. It will not dwell on the problems of the past. I will seek the association of those who are working and striving to bring about positive change in the world. I will never seek to comfort by associating with those who have decided to be comfortable. When faced with the opportunity to make a decision, I will make one. I understand that God did not put in me the ability to always make right decisions. He did, however, put in me the ability to make a decision and then make it right. The rise and fall of my emotional tide will not deter me from my course. When I make a decision, I will stand behind it. My energy will go into it, and I will waste none on second thoughts. My life will not be an apology. It will be a statement. The buck stops here. I control my thoughts. I control my emotions. In the future, when I am tempted to ask the question, why me? I will immediately counter with the answer, why not me? Challenges are gifts, opportunities to learn. Problems are the common thread running through the lives of great men and women. In times of adversity, I will not have a problem to deal with. I will have a choice to make. My thoughts will be clear. I will make the right choice. Adversity is preparation for greatness. I will accept this preparation. Why me? Why not me? I will be prepared for something great. I accept responsibility for my past. I control my thoughts. I control my emotions. I am responsible for my success. The buck stops here. And that's it.
Wow. I just want to say that was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you, Jacqueline.
You're welcome. So I'm going to type all of that out on the team page tonight. But please take 5 minutes every morning before your day starts crazy. Read that over. Let it sink in. I'm going to have an affirmation like that for the next 4 or 5 weeks. And then we'll talk a little bit about creating our own affirmations from there. But as a team, we are walking through this together. We are all walking through it at the same pace. And we are in this as a team, truly as a team. It's not Ashley and I running at the same pace and we're just going back and trying to teach you guys something. It's not KP and Casey running their thing and then they're trying to teach somebody else how to do something. We are all here running the last quarter of the year at the same pace together. And I want to run strong so that come January, we are all ready to just bring in a fresh group of coaches. We're ready to feel that momentum because we are truly serving people. We're giving to people. We are thinking about other people. And I'll just stop talking now because I'll keep talking forever. Ashley cut me off and do announcements.
Well, I kind of want to add to that because I don't know where you guys are in your slight edge, but today was day 8, chapter 8. And so if you're not there, if you're not reading it with us, I just want to read, and it kind of goes along with what Jacqueline was just talking about. But I think we underestimate our own influence. And I've been listening to a book also called Stories That Stick. She's our keynote speaker at Summit next year, Kendra Hall. She looks like Reese Witherspoon and she's adorable. And, but she was just talking about how so many of us believe we don't have a story. And that's not true. We all have a story and we all have power in that. So along with that, he writes, when you create positive improvements in your life, you create a positive ripple that's spread all around you. Like a pebble of positivity dropped in a pond, those ripples may not all be visible. In fact, they may not be mostly invisible, but just Because you or others may not see them doesn't mean they're not there. They are, and in their impact, they can be enormous. When you reach out and positively affect one other person through your interactions and words, you create a slight change in the person who is then more likely to reach out and positively affect someone else. Simply put, one touches another, who touches another, who touches another. Through your everyday attention to those simple, positive actions, your happy habits and daily disciplines, you don't only have an impact on yourself, you also have a powerful impact on everyone around you. You become a better relative, a better friend, a better business associate, a better father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. You become a more positively contributing community member and a more influential thought leader, which in turn creates a spreading positive impact on the world around you and society at large. And it's like, I think sometimes, like, I felt like I've struggled recently just like how to show up on social media, because I feel like it's the same every day. But I think that's the point. Like, some people need to see the same every day. Like, they need to see you because they relate to you showing up and doing the little things that you do every day that make you a better person or make you better, make you healthier. And so share those things. Like, I know sometimes it can seem like, oh, I'm just posting the same old thing. But it's like other times, like Jacqueline said, sometimes people will be like, where are you? And you just showing up, showing the things, they notice that. So I just want to encourage that. Before I do announcements, where are we at Success Club wise? Two.
0.
0. 0.
0.
I was supposed to be at 2 before this call, but it didn't go through. So maybe I'm going to be at 2 tomorrow.
I'm at 8.
Okay. Woohoo! Casey. Awesome.
Need to hit 10.
What are you?
8.
She's at 8.
Ooh.
I'm at 6 with 2 links out. So fingers crossed. So just want to remind you that this month is for leadership retreat. So Success Club 5, the month of October, November, and December. And adding 2 coaches in the 3 months gets you a spot on the leadership retreat. So that's going to be pretty fun. And there's 2 locations. So there will be one in Florida and one in Minnesota. And you can travel to either one, whichever one you want to come to. But it will be in February. And then also just the little things of, tank tops that Jen Richardson gives, or we're doing headbands. The prizes from corporate, those are pretty fun. I just got notification I got the hoodie for this year. So 2 more months and I get the suitcase. So that's pretty fun. So that's that announcement. I don't know if you saw, I put together the November calendar, and in there I kind of put a guideline of like when to be like inviting to certain things, because I know for newer coaches that's like, oh, when do I even start talking about that? And it's a lot earlier than we think it is, just because people need to see you talking about something before like 7 times or 30 times before they're ready to commit. So I put that in there for you. I do have a healthy Thanksgiving PDF file that I'm going to give you. I'll put it in like the first week of November, and that you can share out to your customers. When I share meal plans and stuff like that, that's for you guys to send out, like help your challengers, give them something of value, give your people that, like people that you've been talking to and they just can't afford it yet, send them the weekly meal plan. Give. And then when they can afford it, they'll come to you. Trust me, I've been there, done it, they will come. And if not, you'll have some people that will be free people forever, and maybe they'll never be able to afford it, but that's part of life, right? Like, we are here to help people and to give. And so maybe we have those people. Can you hear me? Just said my internet's unstable. Okay, sorry. So that is what I have. Do you guys, I don't think we have any new coaches on. How do you guys feel like the business mentorship went? And do we want to run another one in November? I'm thinking December is not going to happen just because it's a crazy month for a lot of people, but do we want to run another one in November? Yep, you can, Kristen. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I never know these headphones, but I thought the business mentorship was good. I think our content was like really good. I think I need to do, I don't know, I feel like people got kind of lost or just stopped responding or watching past like the first week. But I don't know if that's anything we can really like mitigate, or if that's on them, if we're checking in with them and inviting them and following up. But I think it's important to do another one because it gives us something to like invite to again. Just my thoughts.
And it is, I did organize it by days. If they go to units, it's in there by days now. So that way, if they're behind, they can go look. Anyone else feedback?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably told me this before, but to get Success Club 5, how do you do that? I know you get a challenge pack, it's 2, so we need 2 challenge packs. And then how do you get that extra 1 point?
You have to have a combination of 90 volume PV. So it could be like Energize, a box of beach bars, collagen, like any combination of HD that equals 90 PV. It's hard to hit. When they first started Success Club, Shakeology was only 1 point. So they've updated that to 2 points. So now most people get 6. I don't see very many 1 points, but Megan had 1 point last month. She had 5. She hit.
So I think that because I get, besides my regular Shakeology, I get collagen and my beach bars for my son and Energize. Like I get all that extra stuff. So if it can be something that I buy to equal the PV, or it has to be customer buy.
It's a customer. You only earn Success Club points from customers.
Okay.
Honestly, it's usually easier to just find 3 people who
need a challenge pack.
A challenge pack. That's kind of why we always say like find 3. A heads up for everybody, I'm probably gonna run a Success Club in a day. Nothing like fancy, but I'm ready to hit Success Club. So like tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday, depending on my week, I'm just going to put in the work, and then the next day, if I hit Success Club in a day, I'll do another live video, walk you guys through my messages. I tried to share 2 super easy scripts today, invites of like what to say, and just I'll kind of share my process. If anybody's interested, you can also message me about what I'm doing. Feel free. But that's on my radar this week personally because I need to lock in Success Club. So it's totally possible.
So Casey wants to do another coach mentorship group. Does anyone else want to do another coach mentorship group? Is that something we have a need for? Kristen wants to? Okay. Okay, so we'll plan one. I'm almost thinking like the 11th. And that gives 2 weeks before Thanksgiving break, or the week of Thanksgiving. That sound good to everybody?
Yeah, it's good timing.
Wait, I completely blanked out. What did you say? What was the date?
November 11th.
Okay. I nodded and then I was like, wait, I didn't hear what you said.
This is for your mentorship group.
Yes.
Got it. November 11th.
Oh, Tampa Super Saturday. Who's going?
I'm going to be out of town and I'm so sad.
Oh, Casey, you just make me mad.
I'm not going to Tampa, but I'm going Friday to Minneapolis and going to get my butt kicked. But Hannah and I are going together, so that will be fun.
See, if it was Friday, I could go, but it's not.
Danielle, where are you at in the Pacific Northwest?
So I'm 2 hours northwest of Seattle, so I'm about 2 hours from Canada.
Are you in Washington?
Yeah,
Yeah. Is your husband Army?
Navy.
Navy. Okay. Similar bases? Are they anywhere near each other?
I'm sorry?
If the Army base is anywhere near the Navy base?
No, it's like all Navy up here.
I'll message you. I have another coach friend who just moved out to Washington,
Okay.
but her husband's Army, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. But I'll connect you guys because maybe
Okay.
there's a Super Saturday out there that you could.
There is.
It'd be awesome if you could get connected out there too and find some community locally, or at least within a few hours of
I
you.
live in a tiny island where the average age is not mine. So it's harder to find friends.
Yeah, we need to get you connected.
There's some there. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, that's all the announcement I have. So we are going to transition in November and talking a lot about challenge groups and kind of revamping them. But I just want to encourage you guys, we are doing Fun Friday this week, next week, every week. Be ready to go with your Energize. Just encourage you to keep showing up in the challenge groups because it does make a difference. Like, even if it's like just coaches commenting on things, I noticed that when coaches stop commenting, then our challengers stop engaging. So just keep up with that. It's important. Even if they don't always comment back, they need to see people showing up. It's part of the accountability piece. So just keep doing that. And yeah, that's all I have. Anything else? Anyone?
I wanted to tell Casey she's doing such a great job with the everyday posts with the slight edge. And you've been doing so great. And every time I see it, I want to tell you what I did. Because last Monday night, when we were talking about this, I was so excited. And somebody said, oh, it's on Kindle. So I ran in my room, I grabbed my Kindle, and I've been reading The Slight Edge, Getting from Average by Leo Weidler. Getting from Average to Advantage. A different.
The wrong one.
Which I realized. But then, and I was like, I can't believe I downloaded the wrong book. But it's been like, okay, but nothing was matching up with the stuff you were saying. But I got thrown off track this week anyway because my husband ordered me this book by Paula White. Kane, She Got Married, Something Greater, and it wasn't even out yet. I just happened to see her on Facebook, and she's a pastor that prayed over my daughter Allie when she was a baby. And I don't know if Jacqueline remembers seeing her, but she's an amazing woman of God. And I just happened to mention to my husband, oh, you got to get me that for my birthday. That would be so great. It's not available yet. Well, he got it the next day, and I was so excited. I read it in 3 days, and I was just like over the top.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sorry I missed this, Casey, but you've been doing a great job. I
Don't worry, but yeah, I definitely, I'm like a chapter behind, so don't feel bad. I read chapter 7 this morning, though, and like really loving this book. It's really good. So
It's good.
I recommend it. I feel like it's an easy read too. Ashley, do you agree? I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like he's just like conversational. He's not, it's not like fancy words or
No.
long sentences. It's just, yeah, it's good.
And I definitely read it just like right before I work out. And it only takes like 10 minutes usually. So, yeah.
Yeah, the chapters are pretty short.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording.